welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob here. I guess we have a loser lap to take right out of the gate here. Sid Vicious is dead, so people would know him from the wrestling world. He wasn't WCW, right? He was WWF, or was he both? He's he one of the guys that did both.
He might have been kind of all over the place. Like I want to say he did ECW too.
Yeah, that kind of sounds right.
But I mean, for him to get his start, it would have probably had to have been WWF.
Yeah,
Because I don't remember him in WCW, so I'm sure he did. Um, but I could have sworn he was more of a WWF guy, at least to start. He was both.
he was. Yeah.
Well, it looks like he honestly, it looks like he just bounced around. So it was like Uh, 90, 91, he was in WCW. 91, 92, he was WWF. 93, he was back in WCW. 95 to 97, back to WWF. Then he was champion in that time. Then he went to ECW in 99, back to WCW,
Yeah.
up to WWF. Like, yeah, he was all over the place.
Yeah. So he's dead.
I want to
Um,
say Nick had him in a previous year.
did he? Let me check.
Don't I was gonna say we obviously have to fact check. I want to think that Nick selected him in a obviously wrong year, but
Yeah. Um, let's check and see. So 2024, that's this year. Um, you had Jerry the King Lawler.
oh wow, wrong wrestler.
Nick had Greg the Hammer Valentine. Um, those were the only
Yeah, I want to
wrestlers this year. Let me go back to last year.
probably a couple back now, but
Yeah, so in 2023, you had Scott Steiner.
can't believe that guy's still kicking.
Jones had Ric Flair and Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake died this year. So Jones hit him with the 1 year
Yeah,
policy.
the 1 year rule.
Yeah. Nick had the Big Show, Paul White, last year. Let me try 2022.
Yeah, I want to say Sid Vicious might go back a little bit.
2022, you had Jesse James, the Road Dog.
Road Dog.
Yeah.
I actually think he's like kind of thriving right now. I might have to fact check that. Well, I think I picked him because he got fired.
Yeah,
Or he wasn't
it's
or he wasn't writing anymore.
okay.
I think that's why I took him because it's like, okay, well, if he's not writing anymore, what the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah, I don't have Sid Vicious on here.
All right, completely made up then. Unless it was the
Yeah,
1 year we don't have documented because there we did do it
could
one
have been
year with
2020. Yeah.
yeah, without documentation.
We
So,
don't have the documents for
well,
2020.
either way, we didn't hit it. I wanted you know what, Nick, congrats on getting him in 2020, just 4 years too early.
Yeah,
We'll just rewrite the picks.
we've just assigned him
Well, because I
to
mean,
you in
wrong is wrong,
2020.
so it sounds a lot better. It's like, well, at least you guys are kind of like in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Because truthfully, picking a random person to die within fucking 5 years is like that's actually pretty fucking good. I mean,
it
not good
is.
enough, but
Yeah, not good for our purposes, but it
also
is
at
still pretty
Sid Vicious,
good.
he wasn't that old. He was 63,
Yeah.
so it's like ridden hard, put away wet, but he was not that old,
Yeah. I
all
mean, when
things
you want to
considered.
talk about like, like you said, ridden hard and put away wet, that's anybody. from the wrestling circuit from the 70s through the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, like Dean Malenko is the same age as Sid Vicious.
Wow.
And even Shawn Michaels is 59.
Yeah. Dean Malenko looks kind of like Tony Maserati now. If you go to his Wikipedia, Dean Malenko's Wikipedia page, the picture of him that's on there from 2019, like if you look
Yeah, it does a
quickly,
little bit.
it looks like Maz.
I actually listened to them on Monday.
Yeah, I saw you said you had that. How was that? I haven't listened to them in months.
Well, so it's funny because like we talked about, now here's the background for me. I stopped listening to them in 2020
Yeah,
because they had nothing to talk about because the team sucked and the team wasn't interesting. Then the team
right,
didn't get much better. 2021 was a good year, but like they didn't get much better, so I haven't been listening because there's nothing to talk about.
right.
But I ran out of podcasts. I ran out of shit. I was driving around a little bit, so I put them on. And it's funny because I mean they were crushing the offensive line, and they were like, "Hey, Drake May looks good. Like he's progressing. He's on schedule. Like he might be the next guy. We still don't want him to play because he's probably not ready to go. But like
Right.
you may have actually hit that pick." And they're like, but to do nothing to that offensive line, and then as they're one to do, they go through it, and it's like, they can't line up, they can't get in formation, they can't snap the ball. And then they come back to it, and like, because this is kind of how the show's gonna go, was the last game was the night before, so they were gonna talk about it the whole time, then move
Yep.
before moving to like the Red Sox, whatever. And then he starts freaking out. He's like, because then people come at me about Marvin Harrison Jr. He's like, should have drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. And he goes, my only question is to do what?
Yeah.
To do what? What did you want him to do? He goes, they cannot line up and they cannot snap the ball. What would Marvin Harrison Jr. do?
They would have had to have invested in the offensive line in order for
Oh,
that. So
right.
like the play would have had to have been keep Mac Jones and invest in the offensive line
Yeah, you
both
get
in
Harrison
free
and then
agency and in the second
and then
round.
second round you
Right.
pick a guy. Yes, but
Yeah.
but point taken, he's like, they can't
Right.
even line up. He goes,
Right.
the first fundamental of football is snap the ball, and they can't do it.
Yeah. I saw a video on Twitter. I don't know who it might have been Evan Lazar, who posted a video. I think this was the starters, right? Because City So is your starting left guard right now because
Hurt.
Cole Strange is hurt.
Oh, he's in a walking
Um,
boot, so that
yeah.
should go well.
So there was a play where it was a run to the right side of the line. And it was like the all 22 footage of like right behind them. So City So is the left guard and he goes to pull to the right side for a block. He runs into the back of the right guard, falls over,
Probably hurt himself.
and the running back goes to block a guy coming off the edge, also on the right side, runs into City So, who fell over. Neither one of them touched anybody. Two defenders come flying from both sides and just smush Jacoby Brissett for a sack within like 1,000, 1,000. Brissett's dead.
Yeah,
Because
then
the starting left guard, right? Say what you want about preseason, whatever, all that. City So is your starting left guard. And when Cole Strange is healthy, he's the starting right guard. So he is a starting guard on this team. Whatever. If you want to give me he's playing left, he's out of position, he's used to playing right. I don't give a shit. Yeah. The starting left guard on this team went to pull and ran into another offensive lineman, fell over, took out the running back who did nothing, and then got the quarterback smushed within 2 seconds of the ball being snapped.
it's going to be super unfortunate with the way that this goes because now I am going to get on my high horse all year
Yep.
because I wanted the lineman.
Yep.
That's what I wanted.
All we wanted was Joe Alt. Give me Joe Alt.
I just wanted the lineman.
Right.
Trade back, don't trade back. I didn't give a shit. but that's what
Yeah.
I wanted.
Yeah.
And
You
now
could
you're
have
gonna
got a
have to,
haul.
and now you're
So
gonna have to hear. Well, that's the thing. It's like like that part is fine. Like because you would have, yes, you would have gotten stuff in return. But like even if you move back to 6, and I forget who had 6, it doesn't matter. It's not
I
important.
think it was the Chargers who took alt.
Well, they were at 5, but like
Oh,
again,
okay.
it's like again, it doesn't matter. Um, but it's just like in the last preseason game, your team could not function as a football team.
Yeah.
And that's where I maybe didn't put it that way. And no one was going to listen to my argument if I said, well, if they don't do anything, then they're not going to function as a football team. They're like, well, they'll do something. Yeah, I would have assumed that they would have too.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. So here we are. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, like when the team gives them the type of ammo that is, because like when they're really good, like obviously Felger's gonna try to break them down. He's gonna try to
Right.
like shit on like when but things aren't going well. So now they can just sit back and be like, oh, your solution was Chucks. That guy's a
Yeah.
clown.
Yeah.
Like that guy stinks. And then
Yeah.
and then that's the thing is like you can compliment May, and it's like he might be the answer,
Yeah.
maybe. Look, I think the coach is an idiot, and I think the GM or Elliot Wolf's an idiot, but
Yeah.
they go, the plan actually is working. They go, I just don't trust the people who are running the plan. So
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting, right? Like you said, you've been saying all along, they don't have a left tackle, right? We did this exercise.
yep,
Like they drafted a tackle, Caden Wallace, who's pretty good at Penn State.
right tackle.
He played 6 snaps. He was a 4-year starter. I don't even have to look anything up. Look, here's my hands. I'm not looking it up on my phone. I remember he was a 4-year starter at Penn State. He played 6 snaps at left tackle in 4 years. He's not a left tackle. He's listed on the depth chart as a backup left tackle. He'll probably end up starting over Chucks at some point. Vidarian Lowe might not even make the team. He shouldn't make the team, if we're
He
being
shouldn't make the
honest.
team.
Although actually, right now, Chucks is on the right side because
No,
your
so I guess the way
$17 million man in Onwenu is playing right guard.
no, so the way the combination they went with the other night was a Wenu at right tackle, the rookie guard from Texas
Oh,
A&M.
Layden Robin. He's supposed to be pretty legit.
It's fucking huge.
So I
He was
saw
playing
that
right guard.
that was another thing that I saw some video breakdown, I think from Lazar, where he was saying Layden Robin, not that this is a fucking, huge thing or whatever, but he said that Layden Robinson is the best has been the best rookie offensive lineman through all 3 preseason games. So again, not a very high bar.
For the
But
Patriots or for the NFL?
he said the NFL.
Oh God, really? Wow. Um, yeah, so he was at right guard. They had someone else at center, but center will be Andrews. Then it was Sal and Lowe's hurt. He couldn't play, so I think it was Chucks.
Yeah. So it's a couple guys actually. So Brandon Thorne, who works for the Bleacher Report. So not a not a Pat's beat guy, right? Brandon Thorne works for the Bleacher Report. He's part of the Establish the Run. He's an offensive line guy. So he has these things in his Twitter bio. Of offensive line masterminds and establish the run. So he's an offensive line guy. He posted Layden Robinson was one of the best rookie offensive linemen I watched this preseason. They said he was balling last night for the Patriots. Someone else goes, Layden Robinson needs to clean up the penalties, but he's living proof that pass protection isn't passive. Patriots got themselves a dude. He just needs time. So that's Taylor Kyles, who is a beat reporter for Patriots CLNS report. But there's a lot of people on Twitter that were saying Layden Robinson looks very good so far. Again, it's only the preseason. He's only a rookie, but he might be legit.
Well, we will see.
So just run the ball to the right side of the line where you have Nwainu and Robinson. Stay the hell away from the left side of the line.
Bunch of bums.
Yeah, I'll say. All right. Well, actually, while we're talking about sports here, this is a good one. So I don't know if you saw this just, in general, but the we had the highest or most expensive sports memorabilia ever that was sold just a couple days ago. And it was the Babe Ruth jersey that he was wearing when he called the shot, right? Like everyone knows, every little kid knows this. You stand up to the bat, you stand up to the plate, you take the bat, you point it out to the field, right? Would have been to left field, right? Because he was a left-handed hitter, I believe. Was Babe Ruth a lefty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he takes the bat and points it out, it's going to point it out to left field. And then immediately after he does that, he hits a home run, right? The legend of Babe Ruth. He's unbelievable. The greatest baseball player, not named Barry Bonds, because Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player, or at least hitter of all time. I would, you know what? No, I would say Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player of all time. He was so much better at everyone than at batting that he's better than any pitcher. I don't care. So it goes Barry Bonds, then Babe Ruth, right? His jersey that he wore during the called shot sold for over $24 million, which is absolutely absurd. $24 million.
I wonder if an individual bought that or if like a company, a museum, like who the fuck would spend that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like Jeff Bezos, someone that just has way too much money. So the second place, you want to guess so this is the highest grossing piece of sports memorabilia ever, right? In the history of sports memorabilia. You don't have to guess what it was, but I'll tell you what it was, and you guess how much the number 2 item was. So the previous most expensive item was a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle baseball card. I want to guess how much that sold for.
Oh, I know that baseball card. I don't remember if that 10 was that 10 million?
12.6. Yeah, you're pretty close.
Man.
12.6 million. This doubled that. So Babe Ruth jersey, 24 million, right? 24.2, whatever it was. The number 2 place, the Mickey Mantle baseball card, 12.6. That's nuts.
The jersey probably worth way more. I gotta look up that Mickey Mantle card because it's probably graded and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if assuming that the jersey is correct, like it is the jersey, and they
It
can
is.
fact check that. I mean, dude, that's pretty fucking iconic.
So they
Now,
verified it. So there's a little bit more
yeah,
to this story.
photo match it, whatever.
So the same jersey sold in 2005. Now, granted, 2005 money to 2024 money is not the same, thanks to, Biden. Thanks, Joe Biden. But regardless, right? Irregardless of that, in 2025, this jersey sold for $940,000. At that time, the
What year was
jersey,
that? Sorry.
2005.
Jesus Christ.
So 20 years ago. At that time, the jersey was only known to be worn by Babe Ruth at some point during the 1932 World Series. They had not yet identified it as the called shot jersey. So they were able to like photo identify like certain parts of the jersey and pictures and things like that. And they have confirmed that this is the jersey. So whoever bought the jersey for $940,000 in 2005 just sold it for over $24 million. I'd say that's a pretty solid return on investment.
Capital gains too high.
Well, that's why he had to sell it now, because
Right.
those
Yeah.
unrealized capital gains, he was going to get taxed on those. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is it's like, and again, you hear like, ooh, the economy, the economy, the economy, the economy. It's like, if the economy does tank, that jersey ain't worth shit. Well, it is, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Kind of wild.
now is the time to sell.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
so I did look up that Mickey Mantle card. That Mickey Mantle card's a 9.5. That's why um it sold so high.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say like the Mickey Mantle card for 12.6 or the jersey for 24. It doesn't matter because I don't have either of those sums of money. But I'm like, give me the jersey like all day. Other people have that card. Now, other people don't have a
Right.
9.5, but
Right. Right.
that jersey literally is one of one.
Yeah.
Now, the Mickey Mantle card is one of one just because of time and the way people used to store shit and throw them in their bike spokes, shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there might not be another 9.5 on the planet, but there are other of that exact same card. So yeah, I'm in for the jersey being worth more than double as a
Yeah.
true, like, yes, and yes, he wore other jerseys, but like, dude, the one where he called his shot.
Yeah. Like as a kid, little kids still do that, right? They do that
Yeah.
today, 100
Well,
years,
now you
over
can't
a
because you just
hundred years later.
now you can't because you just get beamed.
Well, yeah. I guess not. If it was the 1932 World Series, it was almost 100 years later. But so I saw this other thing in here too. The second most expensive game worn jersey was the jersey that Michael Jordan wore in game 1 of the 1998 NBA Finals, and that sold in 2022 for 10.1 million.
Game one? Why was game one so important?
I don't know.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I mean, it could just be a matter of time too. Like if someone has a different jersey from a different game, they just might not have sold it. Right? It's
True. Like
just like
if his well, he probably has his
game
was it
6.
game six when he hit that shot
Yeah.
against
He
the
probably
Jazz?
has the game 6,
He
or
must have
the
that.
NBA Hall of Fame might have it.
Yeah. I'd be such a prick, man. I would fucking if it was my jersey, I'd be fucking keeping it.
I'd be like, yeah, you're not getting this.
Yeah, you're not getting this. Wow, but it's a piece of history. You should really, think about donating it to the museum. And I'm like, yeah, you should donate to my fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah.
not a chance. The thing is,
Yeah.
like, Michael Jordan doesn't need the money of selling it. He goes, I'll just sit there and smoke cigars in it. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'll ash on it if I want to. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
I'll wipe up my bourbon with it.
Yeah. I mean, what does he give a shit about the jersey for? He's got trophies, right? And money.
That's the
Like
thing is he's worth billions.
billions. Yes. Yeah.
Even if his jersey sold for 30 million, it's like I might lose that on the golf course tomorrow.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, like I said too, it could be just a matter of like the time thing, right? Whoever
Yeah.
has another jersey, like if someone has his flu game jersey, right? Like they just might not have sold it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so that's what to authenticate the jersey, it was photo matched by several third parties using 3 photos that were taken before and after the World Series game. It was during the 1932 game at Wrigley Field. which Ruth was said to have prophesized the placement of his second and final home run of the game. I didn't know he hit 2 home runs that game. That kind of makes it more of a baller move. So he already hit a home run earlier in the game and gets up to bat again later in the game and goes, yeah, I'm going to hit another one over left field. And he does it. Like, having already hit a home run, right? Like, just this statistical probability, right, of someone hitting 2 home runs in a game is already low. And then you have someone call it to the spot where they're going to hit it. Yeah, it's worth 24 million. I mean, if I had it, I would have bought it. Like, if I had Jeff Bezos money, I would have paid 24 million for the Babe Ruth jersey. Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
But Jordan could smoke cigars on that too.
Yeah, maybe Michael Jordan did buy it. He can use that as his coaster while he ashes on his own jersey. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome there. That being said, though, you want to wrap this up so we can hit another double header, as we mentioned in one of our previous episodes. This is Sarcasm Speaks does lightning rounds, where we just record a million episodes in as many days as possible.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. I have a follow-up on the air conditioner.
Yes. All right.
So last you heard from me was Sunday. So I went by the next day with a ladder. And I go back out there and I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I don't know what to fucking do with this thing. So I'm like kind of pushing it, kind of whatever. Like, fuck. I go, and then I'm looking, so I'm standing on a 6-foot ladder, just like actually Jamie's ladder, the fiberglass one.
Shout out to Jamie.
And I'm like, even if I get this thing out, it's too fucking big. Like it's gonna knock me off the ladder. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do here.
Yeah.
So I go back inside and I'm looking and I'm like, I have to be missing something. I have to be. Like I absolutely have to be. So I go back to like the vents on the front and the filter. I just fucking rip it all off. Like crack it, break it, whatever.
Yeah, fuck it. It's
Then
trash
there's
anyway.
like, well, that's the thing is it's trash and it's the town's gonna have to take it anyway. Unless it ends up in like Tower Lot or something.
Elevator going up.
Yeah, the elevator going up. There's a parking garage now. That must have an elevator going up.
Yeah, it's got to.
Um, so I unscrew more of the front. So now I'm just like looking at like the cooling ish unit, whatever. And I'm like, man, what the fuck do I need to do here? So I'm like trying to look and trying to manipulate this thing. And then I notice the guts of this thing, it just moved. I'm like, okay, hold on. And then I look at something that looks like you can pull. I go, this fucking thing was like installed here to like be here.
Right.
I go,
Right.
this is probably a pretty old school way of doing things. It was like an old Kenmore one. I mean, the thing's still cranked, but
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, so I just pull on this. Nope, doesn't move. I go, okay. Push it back in, push it back out, push it back in. Eventually, I'm able to pull out the whole fucking inside fucking thing.
Yeah.
So the mysterious screw from the outside was the casing of the air conditioner. So it didn't have brackets or
Yeah.
anything, but it did have a casing.
Huh.
So there was a screw in the sill and then a screw in the side. And once I got those out, the casing of the air conditioner came out as well.
Okay.
And that bitch was so fucking heavy. I went back to the garage, got my barrel that's on wheels, put it on the barrel, rolled it back out, and then basically like tripped, fell down the stairs and put it down on the ground. Didn't actually trip and fall because I would have ate shit, but
Well, yeah, yeah.
That thing was so fucking heavy. So the air conditioner's out.
It's out. We figured it out.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
I
like
wonder.
I was telling Michaela, I'm like, so because we we had an issue with ratchet straps too. So which we had an issue with in Mansfield as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like in like ratchet straps, I haven't used them much, like at all. Like I don't have a truck. I really haven't used ratchet straps, so I really don't know how to use them. And it's like one of those things like they go and then they don't, and then it's like, what the fuck? So like we're trying to figure out like one of the sets of ratchet straps, and she goes in and grabs another one. And I'm like, listen, the two of us might not be the smartest people in the world, but we're not mentally retarded either. I'm like, how the fuck can we not figure this out?
Yeah.
Turns out the first set of ratchet straps we were trying to use, they weren't like fed correctly.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say the rope,
So it was
like
a
the
problem
feed
with the
was
setup.
backwards, maybe.
Or it was like, I don't know, it was like all jammed up. Like they were both
Yeah.
going through the same plate. Whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Figured out the ratchet strap thing. And then like same thing with the AC. I go, dude, like again, I'm not like the most well-versed person here in window ACs, but like I have I have like deconstructed and demolished a lot of things. How the fuck can I not get this fucking thing out the window?
Because it's an old built thing when they used to build things correctly.
Well, that's the thing is like
Right? Like they built them to last.
I really didn't think that this thing would have been like assembled into the window, but that's how it would have been because I did break the fucking thing. Like I broke it removing it,
Right.
which
Right.
means someone had to have done it professionally to place it.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a permanent installation.
I mean, effectively, yeah, because the casing to the dude, it's like the because like without knowing it, it's like the strangest thing. But yeah, that was a year-round AC because, or it was year-round in the window because in order to remove it, you had to
Right.
get the faceplate off, and then you were just left with the guts of the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you how now you pull it out the window and go store it.
Right. 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 Right.
Like it's just the guts of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And then you
weird.
and then in the window you still have the case, so you got to remove that too. I'm like, there's no way that this went, and I think that's why. ACs now those are part of the sale. Yeah,
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
know
That's
why.
why. That's why. Yeah. That's pretty good.
One upstairs is gone. That was easy.
uh all right. Well, my final thought I have got actually is a stem from um your text message that you sent to us I don't know, the other day about one of your clients was in Africa and you sent a picture of a lion eating a gazelle and
Might have been a buffalo, but yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Needless to say, we couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, it was very dead and there wasn't much of it left. So I'm sitting
Think
there
like
like
shit
just
too. They're back now, so I asked, and she was like, "Oh my god, it smelled so bad,
yeah, it smelled like death.
like just dead carcasses everywhere." Like
Yeah.
that's the sneaky thing. Like you would think like Africa smells because it's like poor and shit, but it's like no, it smells because of dead carcasses everywhere because
Yeah,
that's what the animals do.
because of my final thought that is we take for granted in this country, not only just in this country, but in this part of this country in the Northeast, that we don't have to worry about nature, right? Like nature
Seasons,
isn't
dude.
a thing. Yeah, isn't it awesome that we have seasons? But I mean, like in Africa, to your point, there are giant cats that just devour everything.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Like
Yeah.
imagine a buffalo
If your
stampede.
car, if your car hits a buffalo, it's totaled, right?
So
Like
actually, I have
it's
another
gone.
client. They went to
These
some
lions
eat
shred the
them.
buffalo like it's nothing.
I had clients that went to South Dakota for like some bike week thing at the big thing. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is,
it's
but
that's what it is. It starts in South Dakota. It's
um
Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. It's got
Whatever
like
it's
a
called.
something springs maybe or something like that.
They went, and there were times where the buffalo would cause a traffic jam because,
Sturgis.
yes, and the buffalo would cause a traffic jam because they're fucking huge. And if they're not moving, they're not fucking moving.
Yeah.
And if they want to fuck you up and they want to stampede, they will and they can.
Yep. Yep.
And then in Africa, they're wild. And so is the thing that kills them.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got these massive cats that just roam around and fuck shit up. Like, not only that, too, but like there's crazy like snakes, right? And like anacondas and shit. Like, again, just to reiterate, we don't have any of that shit here. Crocodiles, we don't have, we got alligators down in Florida, but we don't have crocodiles, right? There's no giant cats. There's no, you know, giant snakes. We don't have any of that shit.
No, I mean, like you can get rattlers in Texas and like parts of the desert can have snakes,
Yeah, but there's no pythons or fucking anacondas or any shit like that.
boa constrictors.
Boa, yeah, fuck off, dude. Like, no, no, not
And
a
like there are
chance.
poisonous snakes, but that's the funny thing is like there are poisonous snakes in Florida,
Yeah, sure.
but they're not just sitting there hanging from the fucking trees.
Right, right.
Like you need to go into their den to get fucked up by a snake or an alligator or crocodile. When you're in
Yeah,
Africa, you're in their den. That's it.
yes.
And I imagine Australia is very much the same.
Well,
Insects,
everything in Australia is trying to kill you. So,
yeah, insects, reptiles, animals, the heat.
oh, the second most deadly animal in the world to humans, the hippopotamus. That's
Oh
also
yeah,
in
hippos
Africa.
are fucking yeah, they'll fuck you
Yeah.
up. You got
The
rhinos in
number one
Africa.
most deadly animal to humans is actually the mosquito. Mosquitoes kill more humans than any other animal in the
You
entire world.
mean via West Nile virus or something?
Yeah.
You
Yeah, which
mean all over
originated,
Africa?
yeah, which originated in Africa where the Nile River is. So yeah, hippos, elephants.
Yep, they'll stomp
We
you
think
out.
of elephants as like, "Oh yeah, they're cute, they're smart, they're fun." They're massive. If they
Yeah,
decide they don't want you around anymore,
you're
they're
not
going to
around
crush you.
anymore.
You're not around anymore.
Yeah, and
You're
if they
done.
decide they're stampeding,
Yeah. Yep.
there's
Yeah.
nothing you're gonna do
You're
about that.
done. Right. People are like, oh yeah, no, elephants, they're so cute. There's that they're on everything, right? No, no. Wild animals are not cute. I don't like you don't like
That goes for anything.
yeah,
Like, there's no wild animal that you really want to like kind of hang with.
yeah. I love dogs, right? I there's everyone knows I
Yeah,
love my dog, right?
wild dogs.
If I see a wild dog, a coyote, or a wolf, I'm not going near it. I'm not like, oh, look at this wolf. It's so cute. Come here, buddy. No, that's a great way to die. That's a great way to get eaten, right? Like, this is just stupid.
Yeah, like especially the wolf one too. Like they won't eat you now, but they'll eat you at some point.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, rhinos,
Yep.
they literally have like metal skin, right? Like their skin, like, oh, their skin's as thick as a rhino. Like, yeah, it's pretty fucking legit. Yeah, we don't have any of that shit, right? That's what I mean.
Nope.
Like, so not only in this country, right? Because like we talked about, yeah, obviously there's rattlesnakes and poisonous snakes in Texas and Florida. They do have alligators and shit like that. In the Northeast, specifically where we live, we don't have any of that shit. What's the
Yeah.
worst thing that we have here?
The worst thing we have is
Black
sharks, and
bears?
well, no sharks, but
Sharks? I don't count sharks. That's
sharks
their
only.
territory. Stay out
Yeah,
of the fucking
exactly.
water.
When you go into their house,
Yeah, stay out of the water. That's like we're not built for water. We don't have gills. We don't have like webbed appendages, right? Like we as humans are not designed for water existence. So just don't go in the water. Find a pool, find a lake, whatever. Just don't go in the
on the
ocean.
bayside.
Yeah. Stay the fuck away from sharks, right? Like I just yeah, that just blows my mind. Like we're not built for that, right? But yeah, so like other than sharks, right? What's the worst thing we have here? Black bears?
Well, And it's funny because in the grand scheme of bears, black bears aren't even that bad.
They're not. They're not.
They're like the domesticated dog of bears.
Yeah. And I'm pretty well, there was that one black bear that was all over from like Weymouth all the way down to like Rehoboth at one point. He was well traveled. But like other than that, Massachusetts
No, we
doesn't
don't have
really have
bears.
black bears, right? That's more like a Maine, New
Vermont.
Hampshire, Vermont type of deal. Like,
Yep.
what is it? Like, what do we have to worry about from nature? That's what I mean. Nothing, right? So it's one of those things when you sent that picture, I literally thought like people live next to lions, right? Like you can look like someone somewhere in Kenya can go to the second floor of their house if they have a second floor, right? And look as far as they can look and be like, yeah, there's probably lions out there, right? Meanwhile, we go and we look and we're like, yeah, I think there's an eagle out there. Maybe there's a hawk, right? Maybe there's some coyotes in the woods. We don't have any of that shit.
Funniest thing too is like people wonder too, people from Africa come here, they study, and like they end up being doctors and these brilliant people. And it's like you make a mistake in your home country in Africa, and like you get eaten by a lion. You make a mistake on
Yeah.
a math test, and the worst that happens is you get the question wrong.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you want to talk perspective?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, my parents are gonna kill me if I don't fail this test. And actually, if I go too close to that tall grass, a lion's gonna eat me. But like actually eat me. Like your
Yeah.
parents aren't gonna kill you.
Right. Right.
That thing will. Oh, and you see those branches in those branches over there, like the low hanging ones? Those aren't branches.
Yeah. Those are snakes.
Yeah, those are snakes.
So yeah, we're soft basically,
Pretty
but
much. Ooh, yeah, I was gonna say we're hardened a little bit by weather, but like not really in the
yeah,
grand
not
scheme of
really.
things.
Not really.
Yeah, I mean we might be tougher than like Virginia, but like cool.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. All right. Well, that's it for the first one here for us. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website is sarcasmspeaks.com. Check out the show notes below. Support the sponsors. Get some cool discounts and some cool stuff. And until next time, good night, everybody.